Hey guys, how you doing? So I'm in the car because it's cold outside and it's that kind of year. So that kind of time of year. That time of year is actually what I meant to say. This is what happens when you don't edit the video. You end up with all of your mistakes and you don't look as polished. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well and Christmas is coming up soon. If you're wondering, I do these actually in the parking lot of my gym. It's nowhere fancy. I do them in the car afterwards because as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I'm attaching this to a keystone habit. So I go to the gym on a regular basis and then I attach the video to after I go to the gym so that I always get at least one video done a week. I try every 2 weeks at least, but I try for every week. So anyway, the two things I wanted to mention to you guys this week, there's something that, I don't know if you all know who Tony Robbins is, but I read, and this guy's been around for like 30 years. He's consulted with presidents and leaders across the world. He's extraordinarily passionate. If you haven't checked out his stuff, I would really recommend it. He's a self-development guy, often attached to motivational speaking, but there's a lot of interesting things about what he says. He has models of life. And one of the really cool things that I learned when I was listening to his stuff after my divorce a few years ago was about the mentality that you have to be one thing or you have to be another, and that's what you have to do for your entire life. And that's not true. Especially in the way that he communicates it, he's got it down to a science. And what he talks about is that you could be a circle and then people think, well, later on they want to change. So instead of being a circle, they want to be a square. So they might go back and get a degree in maybe psychology or something else, and they change. And then after a while they figure out, wow, this really isn't quite what I expected. Maybe now I want to go and be a rectangle. And they keep reinventing themselves thinking they have to be this whole other thing, and it's not quite what they wanted. But what he stresses is essentially transcendence, and not becoming a circle or a perfect square or a rectangle. And I know I'm using shapes here and it's maybe making it a little bit too elementary, but you get my point. It's maybe becoming an octagon, something integrated where you take pieces of you and you put them all together to do what it is you do next. And you don't feel like you're leaving pieces of you behind. And this is really important for me, and I've had basically a new job almost every 2 years with the exception of Verizon for the last 4 years because I really like it there. And it's helped me change and try to pull all of those things together. Case in point, this week, it's kind of cool. I'm we're supposed to shoot a video on behalf of Verizon that I'll post on a future video or in the description, or maybe the description of this video later this week, because we help track Santa. When I say we, I mean Verizon, and through NORAD, and we have a call center manned by our many of the employees of Verizon, that take calls from children about where they can track Santa. And we're doing a video for it, and I'm going to play a sportscaster in it. We're going to do it in the style of a sportscaster, and I'm going to interview a retired elf. And it's going to be pretty fun and cool, which of course I haven't done anything in acting quite a while, but it's a piece of me, and it's a piece of me that I did for quite some time, for many years, and some TV commercials, etc. And getting to use that again makes me feel integrated. So not being a circle, not being a square, not being a rectangle, but being an octagon. And I would encourage you to try to find ways to do that as well. The things that you love most or you want to pull together, you don't have to sacrifice or give up an entire piece of you. You can pull that together and try to figure out where you can use it where you are now. And when I get those opportunities in my current role, I love them. It makes me really feel like I'm using everything I can to contribute to the place that I work for. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. And like I said, when it goes up, maybe it'll be great. I haven't done it in a while. And I'll share it here either way in the description of this video or the next one. You guys can check it out and see what you mean, see what you think. It'll be up later this week, coming up on Christmas Eve. Anyway, the second thing I want to share with you that I learned about through this year for myself is not being able to do some of the things I've been able to do before. I was a racquetball player for 20 years, and I would play 2-3 nights a week for 3 hours at a time, and I would play regional championships in the Northeast, and I started to get ranked, and I qualified for nationals. And at one point, a few years ago, I even thought about playing in the US Open, which it doesn't mean anything special. Anybody can join and pay to join and then get knocked out in the first round. So I was definitely pretty good, but I don't know that I was a great fit for the US Open, but I wanted to try it. So anyway, my point being that you sometimes can't do what you used to do. I'm 40 now, and when I tried to play racquetball a few weeks ago, the endurance was fine, but my knees couldn't take it, and you only get 2 of those suckers. So I didn't want to have my knees rebuilt, and realizing that over 2 to 3 days that after I played, that's just not, I just can't do that anymore. My body, the diving and everything else was really hard for me to accept. But then I realized it's opened so many other doors for me to do other things. For instance, in the last year, 13, 14 months, I've taught myself at home to play guitar with time that I probably would have used to play racquetball historically over the course of my life. So it allows you to start to be a more dynamic and complex individual, and it's just focusing on what you can do now if you can't do something you used to do. And I found that useful in my life, to be able to accept, at least in this case, not being able to play racquetball by replacing it with other things, and being able to become a more complex individual and explore other things. So if that helps you, I hope it does. Thanks for watching my video. As always, feel free to leave a comment, and if you have an opinion, whether good or bad, overall, I would love to hear it. Feel free to like or dislike my video. But thanks, guys. I hope you have, if I don't put up another video, I hope you have a great Christmas with your family and friends, and a great New Year's as well. And stay warm if you're in the Northeast, because it is freaking cold.